Do side hustles still work in 2024? Well, they definitely do, but you need to understand what you're trying to achieve, how much money you're making out of it, and is it actually practical to do as a side hustle? I'm going to go through 5 different side hustles that you can actually pursue as a side hustle in 2024. My key thing with a side hustle is that you need to actually be able to do it in the hours that you have available. Therefore, it's no point doing a side hustle that requires you to be available for 30 hours between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday if you already work a job in that time. So let's look at the first one. And the first one is a big growing industry, and it's freelance video editing. And in particular, we're going to look at short form video editing. This area is exploding with the exploding growth of things like TikTok, and we've got Instagram Reels, and we've got YouTube Shorts. All of these things require people to make more and more content, and content takes time to make. I'm putting this as number 1 because I know it's an area that I need help with. I don't get enough short form content out, and therefore if I could find someone that did this freelance, did a good job, I would definitely look to hire them. And there's lots of other people out there like me that make long form content and need someone to help them with the short form content. The great thing is that it's quite easy to learn this, and that's because there's lots of great software that can help you with it. So whether you're looking at something like video editing software and you can use a free tool like CapCut where you can add auto captions, or maybe you're going to go for a bit more advanced thing like maybe a Final Cut Pro, you can learn this skill all self-taught. There's plenty of video tutorials out there on YouTube to learn how to edit for short form content. AI is going to play a big role in this, so there's a lot of software that you can use. So maybe you're going to utilize all these tools that you have in your arsenal to produce high quality short form content for the creator you're working with. And if you do a good job, the chances are this is going to be a repeat customer. They're going to keep coming back to you. Where can you find customers for video editing? Any of the freelance websites, Fiverr, Upwork, any of them you'll be able to find work on, or even something like YouTube Jobs, which is YT Jobs. You can find jobs on there for YouTubers that are actually looking for this type of thing. So can this be done as a side hustle? Yes, definitely. This is the perfect type of side hustle because it's done freelance. You can take on as many customers or clients as you need, and you can do it at hours that suit you. You can be working on a video at midnight. You can be working on a video through the day. You can work on weekends. You can do it when it suits you. Is it profitable? Definitely. Again, this is one of the most profitable side hustles out there because you're getting paid for your time. So you have very little costs, maybe some software costs if you want to invest in those. And your rate is going to be set by how good you are at this. So yes, people are going to be probably cheaper than you, but if you do a good job and you're showing that your content is getting the end content creator more views, they're going to pay you more for it. Now let's go from something in the digital world to something in the real world, and we're going to be talking about dog walking, dog sitting, or dog feeding, whatever you want to call it, looking after other people's dogs. People are starting to travel again, and when they travel, unfortunately, they typically can't take their pets with them. And what does that mean? They need someone to come look after them for them. Now, again, I'm using a real world example because this is something that I've had to look into and get someone in to look after our dog when we've traveled. The great thing with this is you can customize this to whatever you want to do. Maybe you just want to go and feed people's dogs. Maybe you want to walk them, or maybe you actually want to go and house sit. And maybe you don't even like dogs. Maybe you want to do it for a different type of animal. There's a lot of different possibilities when it comes to this. It is also one of those side hustles where if you continue to do a good job for someone, they're likely going to keep asking you every single time they go away. You might find a retired couple that's traveling a lot. They travel over a couple of months and therefore they ask you every single time to be their pet sitter. Now, where can you find customers? Well, there's websites around such as MadPaws, which we've actually used in the past to find a dog sitter for our dog. And there's lots of other freelance websites out there where you can get people that would love to pay you for this task. So can this be done as a side hustle? Well, it definitely can, but there's a bit of a caveat to that. If someone requires you at a certain time, maybe they need you to feed their dog morning and afternoon, and you're not going to be available in the morning, it might limit who you can actually take on as clients. So it is great for people that may be studying or have flexible other work where they can pencil in these particular times that they need to go do the dog sitting or the dog walking, and then work their other work around that. Is it profitable? Well, yes, again, you're getting paid for your time mostly, but don't forget to factor in your travel costs. If you've got to drive around a lot to a lot of different customers, that's going to cost you fuel. So it is something you need to factor in. And if you're paying any type of commissions through a website that you're getting booked through, make sure you factor that in. Now, before I get into the third side hustle, I want to talk about something that's actually very relevant to today's video, and that's my course, How to Start a Business in Australia. If you actually decide, I want to go down the path of starting a side hustle, but you don't know where to start, this course is for you because it's going to go through the idea generation, how to get registered, and what kind of things you actually need to stay on top of for your finances. It also has 4 handy finance templates to help you better manage your money in your new small business. If you're interested, the link to the course is in the description of this video. Now let's move on to the third one, and it is a virtual assistant. More and more people are working online, running their businesses online. Maybe they don't have a physical office anymore, and now they need help. And where are they going to look to? Well, can I hire someone virtually? And that's the role of a virtual assistant. They're a bit like an admin worker from a previous that would come into an office, but instead you're working from home. And the great thing is this now may be more flexible than if you were working in an office. Maybe you have a great skill set in answering phones or replying to emails, and you find a job offering where someone's just needing someone to monitor their phones. Maybe their phone doesn't ring a lot and they just need someone that's always got their phone on them that can answer if need be. Maybe that's for you. Maybe there's a repetitive task they need done, some spreadsheet work done that needs to happen once a week on a Monday for 3 hours. Maybe you can come in here and do that. The great thing is, again, this can be done from home, so you haven't got any travel costs. You're likely not going to have much software costs. Maybe you've got to provide your own laptop. And you could work for anyone across the world in a field that you're excited to work in or that you've got skills in. Now, how do you find customers as a virtual assistant? Well, again, any of those freelance websites that I've mentioned before, or maybe even on LinkedIn, reach out to people directly, DM them and say, hey, I like what you do. Do you need any admin assistance? I'm willing to work for you. So can it be done as a side hustle? Well, definitely. It can be done at hours that suit you. Is it profitable? Again, yes, because you're getting paid for your time. But the only thing with this is it is quite competitive. There's a lot of people willing to work for very low rates in this area because of how flexible it is. So your rate may be a little bit lower than what you would like. One thing with this, if you do a good job or you've got an expertise in a particular area, maybe you've worked for a tax accountant before and you come to someone like me and offer your services, I might be willing to pay you more because I know you've got expertise in that area. The fourth one is YouTube. Yes, YouTube channels are still profitable in 2024, and yes, they can be done as a side hustle, but it is hard work. It isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to become $1 million YouTuber overnight. It is going to take hard work, and therefore my biggest recommendation, if you're doing YouTube as a side hustle, is to be realistic and make sure it is still fun. Maybe you love building Lego, or maybe you love traveling and you want to share these things with the world. You're already recording them and you're already documenting what you're doing. Well, that is the perfect chance for you to turn it into a side hustle with a YouTube channel. Just be aware, it is going to take time before you, one, even get monetized, and two, actually turn it into any type of profit. But the good thing is, maybe if you're doing it as a side hustle, you love doing it anyway, you're wanting to spend the 5 to 10 hours a week on it, you're going to put out good quality content because you're willing to learn, and maybe all you want to make is $5 a day. Well, that might be practical. It's all going to come down to how much time you're actually going to be able to dedicate it. Do you enjoy that, and do you have a plan? If you're wanting this to be a profitable side hustle, then you need to make a clear plan. How are you going to monetize it? Is it going to be purely off ad revenue? Are you going to sell some kind of course or some type of expertise? Or maybe you've got some type of product that you can link. Or maybe you're just going to chase affiliate income. Come up with a plan, because if you want it as a side hustle where it's going to make you money, you need to have a plan on how it's going to make you money. So can it be done as a side hustle? Yes, but you need to be very realistic. If you can only put in 2 hours a week, remember that your videos could be competing against someone else that has a team of people that are working full time on their videos. So it is going to be hard for you to compete on the same level of quality, and it's all going to come down to how good are your videos. And that's going to lead right into, is it profitable? Well, yes, it can be profitable, but it's all going to come down to, are you putting out good videos? Are they getting views? And are you in a profitable niche with a plan on how you're going to make money? The fifth one is lawn mowing. Yes, this is an old school one, but it still does work in 2024. Maybe it's not quite as profitable as people are downsizing their homes, and maybe not as many people have actual lawn, but it can still be done as a side hustle. It's great for maybe school kids that are looking for an after hours job. It's a relatively easy task to learn. Again, a bit like the dog sitting, it is one where if you do a good job for people, they're likely going to ask you again and again and again. And lawn mowing is even more consistent, because they might go, hey, I need this mowed every fortnight. Can you come in once a fortnight on a weekend and mow my lawn? Now, this is going to very much depend on the area that you live in or the areas that you can get to, because there's no point going, I'm going to chase lawn mowing, and you live in an area where it's all apartment blocks and no one has a yard. So make sure it's actually practical. Do people have lawns in your area? Can it be done as a side hustle? Well, yes, because it can likely be done when it suits you, but the weather is going to play a role and the time of day is going to play a role. You probably can't go and mow lawns at 10 p.m. at night or if it's pouring with rain. So remember to factor that in and go, when am I actually going to be available, and is that a good time of the day to actually mow lawns? Is it profitable? It's likely not going to be super profitable by the time you take into account any kind of machinery cost you've got, any kind of repairs and that, and carting that around, especially if you've got to drive from client to client, and maybe you're going to have to then get a trailer, etc. But of course, it is a great thing if you can do it on the cheap. Maybe you just mow lawns in the street that you live in because you're doing it after school, and you can wheel your lawnmower along and do 1, 2, 3 and get that done. Then I'm sure you can make it profitable. Now, before you go ahead and start your side hustle, have you asked yourself the question of how much time you're going to have available and how much profit you're wanting to make? This upcoming video I've got here, I address these questions in way more detail and talk about whether you should actually start a business in 2024.